So let me get this straight. Fox Business News is now in the RV propaganda industry. Huh. Welcome to hbrv Lifestyle, the podcast. I am the host, the Honey Badger, here to give it to you straight and transparent about the RV business, as well as other things. Fox Business wrote a puff piece about the RV industry, but there are some good things in the article, so I'm not going to just bash it. I'm also going to go over the good things in the article as well. But before I do that, we need to talk about recalls. That's right, it's Monday. So in the description box below, we're going to have the recall article, the Fox Business News article, as well as other things that you can read later. What I want to cover immensely out of all the recalls is the Winnebago Echo. That's the motorhome. 2,100 motorhomes are affected by this. Now, these are folks that spent well over $100,000 on this motorhome. And once again, we have a solar system problem. You know, I understand it, but there's now, I don't know if every manufacturer will eventually go through this. There is a possibility of that. But let's look at some common denominators. Almost 3,200 Brinkleys. 12-volt wiring wrong. Grand Design RV. Bad 12-volt wiring. Now we have Winnebago motorhomes. Bad solar systems. The solar system is not designed properly. So you built 2,100 motorhomes. You are, to me, in my professional opinion, the best builder of motorhomes overall. Not travel trailers, but motorhomes. And you didn't catch this within, let's say, 100, 150? How does that slip through the cracks where over 2,100 of these motorhomes are affected? How did this not stop at like 100, 150? Winnebago motorhomes is better than that. What is going on in our RV industry? Specifically with things under the Winnebago umbrella or things that could possibly end up under the Winnebago umbrella. Wink, wink, hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Okay. What's going on over there? Now, is it a possibility that every manufacturer will end up with this recall or something similar to this recall, just like with the oven light or the stove light? Can't remember what it was. Possibly. Very big possibility. We covered that several times in the past months because just about everybody went through that. Okay, and that was a defect on the manufacturer, the vendor part, not on the builder of the RV. This is on the manufacturers. This is on Grand Design, Winnebago, and Brinkley. This is on them. This is not on, oh, well, they told me this. Well, no, you're tripping over dollars to save pennies on the stupidest things. And you wonder why people are not spending $120,000, $150,000, $160,000 on a new motorhome. You wonder why they're going to my guys that are selling used RVs, because for most of these people that can afford to buy a new motorhome, they keep seeing all these recalls and keep seeing all this bad quality control on a $120,000, $130,000 coach. And you're like, whoa, why am I going to do that? I'd rather put up with those problems in a used one. See, this is a bad thing. The industry has to change, and the only way to change it is to get rid of all the old timers. I'm sorry. Every GM, every super GM, every VP that's been in the industry for 30 plus years, take your golden parachute and get out. Get some young blood in there that doesn't know any better and tell them, build a coach and stop tripping over everything to save a couple of pennies. That's really the gut feeling that even dealerships across the country have told me. I've had owners talk to me in the last 3 weeks about how bad it's been with recalls with certain brands like Grand Design, like Winnebago, like Coachman Catalina. They need to get their stuff together. Now, I am going to come to the defense of some of the GMs, okay? I'll give you a great example. The guy who is the Coachman Catalina general manager has inherited several brands. Apparently, my old boss is no longer at Viking and Clipper. He has now taken over Viking and Clipper. That's now finally become public knowledge. I've known about it for a while. He is now officially running several brands, several factories. And here's the real reason why that's starting to happen. Because there isn't enough business. I don't care what Fox Business says. There isn't the business out there to justify the puff piece they wrote. Okay. Now, I'm going to let you read it in the description box below. So, first off, this was not written at the request of the factories directly. This was written through interviews with different people, including people from RVIA, from dealership CEOs, big corporate dealership CEOs, Bob Martin, the president and CEO of Thor. I'm going to not talk about Bob Martin's part because Bob's job as president and CEO is to make his investors feel good. That's a publicly traded company. Right? So think about it for just a minute. Think in your mind for a minute. Bob Martin's job is to keep the stock price up. So anything he says is going to be highly politically correct, try to satisfy the dealer base, the customer base, and the investor. So we're going to set aside everything he says. What I am disappointed in is RVIA wants to make it seem like the RV industry is booming today. It's not. It's going steady, okay? But who are they talking to? Because the dealerships that I talk to, which are pretty good, decent players in this, they're not the Camping Worlds of the world, but they have, a lot of them have 6, 7, 8, 9 locations. A lot of them have multiple locations under multiple companies, under multiple investors. You know, there's guys that have been in it forever, and they say, plain and simple, we have too much inventory. Period. End of report. No matter what Fox Business does, which I'm very disappointed in Fox because you should have checked your facts before you released that article. Yes, they're going to ship out more units than they did last year. Probably. But let's also realize that a lot of the units that shipped so far are what we call yard units. They were not orders from the manufacturer, from the dealerships. By the way, probably the majority of those yard units were Camping World purchases back in February. So Camping World bought a bunch of stuff because here's the stupid part. There are brands out there, like Cherokee as an example, Cherokee Grey Wolf, Alpha Wolf, etc. They will have 0 orders and they're still building. We'll just sell all the yard. They're going to need them anyway. Really? We're in the middle of one of the worst economies in a long time and you just want to keep building? Well, we have the #1 selling trailer. No, Coleman does. But okay, let's call you second or third. Does that justify you continuing to build even if there isn't a demand right now? I don't know, because it's not my decision. But common sense would say that the RV industry on the manufacturing side should shut down for 6 months. Period. End of report. Shut down for 6 months. Let your dealer base get through the inventory you shoved down their throats. Excuse my language, your kids cover their ears. The inventory you shoved up the dealers' asses with absolutely no lubricant, and continue to try to do, because instead of dealing with the problem, you just keep on trying to build. Reminds me a lot of our government. Let's just ignore the problem. We'll make it a talking point to get reelected, but we'll skip over it when we're actually at work. Why talk about that? I mean, that's basically what it looks like. I know they're overstuffed, but we'll just keep building and keep telling people we're going to do something different. We'll trick the public. And they're not tricking you. They're just over thickening and oversaturating the propaganda. Okay? So I'll give you a great example of something, okay? A great example. I had a customer that came in yesterday and talked to me for a little bit. And they're looking for a few specific things. And one of the things that they said was, we bought a new Audi because we got $27,000 off the sticker price. Okay, this nice, beautiful Audi. And he goes, but when I go to the RV dealership, everything's still priced like it was last year. And I go, well, they're two different things. There's no factory assistance like there is with Audi. Audi has their markup on their MSRP. They have their holdback. There's no holdback in this industry. No matter what people think, there's no holdback in this industry. Okay? There's rebates, but they're like minuscule. 0.5% most of the time. But anyway, going back, so it's not like Winnebago's out there going, folks, we're going to offer you $20,000 rebate. Nobody's doing that. Nobody's coming out. Forest River, Keystone, Thor, Jayco, Winnebago, which I probably already mentioned, Newmar, all these places with all these high-priced, high-ticket items are not going to the general public and saying, we're going to offer you a $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 rebate to go buy this motorhome or go buy this fifth wheel. Nobody's doing that at the factory level like they do in the auto industry. And the guy goes, holy crap. And he goes, no wonder everybody's sitting on inventory. He had been to 13 different locations, including 4 Camping World locations, and he said the Camping Worlds were wall-to-wall inventory. He had been to a couple Blue Compass locations. Again, wall-to-wall-to-wall-to-wall inventory. He was describing it, and he goes, that makes sense why I can't get a real deal on a 2-year-old motorhome that's new. And I go, yeah. He goes, that makes all the sense in the world. So he's in the used market. He has converted himself to used. This right here, this funnel, is people that started out in new and now filtering down to used. The market for used, priced right used, is out of control, humongous. I know of one dealership that I do some marketing for that they're like 65% used. They can't keep anything in stock. They just dumped 5 brands of new, sold the last of them, got rid of them, don't want any more. And these were brands they had for 10, 12, 13 years and were successful with them. But the dealerships in general, and this is why I'm proud of some of the things, as you'll read in the article, the Blue Compass CEO said some incredible things in that article, telling the truth, that just because shipments might be up, doesn't mean sales are up. That's the summary of what he said. And he's right. The retail market for a brand new travel trailer is worse than a used Class C. Used Class C is a huge market right now. New travel trailer is about that big of a market right now. This can only be solved at the factory level. Pardon me. I don't care. At this point, the dealerships have become responsible. They got rid of all the 22s. They got rid of most of the 23s. Now they're overstuffed with 24s. Reality needs to set in with the factory. The Pete Legals, the Bob Martins, they need to wake up, smell the coffee, and realize that the industry as a total, until they get involved and start handing out big checks, not just to the dealership, but to the consumer, the industry is going to be fucked like this for another 3 to 5 years. Does the RV industry have a bright future? Because that was the totality of the article, was trying to say there's a big future involved. Yes. But if they don't get their crap together over there at the manufacturing level, if they don't come to terms that the 40-year-old that they try to cancel, well, just one of them tried to get me canceled. You try to cancel me because I'm right. You know, greed is good. This isn't greed. This is stupid. They need to get together and stop. And here's the thing. The attitude is, I'll just screw over my neighbor. Like, you'll have 5 brands under one umbrella. And they'll all stab each other in the back. Well, I told this guy I wasn't going to come out with that till September, but I'm going to do it now. Bink. Stab him in the back. I mean, come on. Wake up and smell the coffee. If you guys don't come together as an industry and say, we're done building until February of 2025, we're going to be in the same boat next year. I'm going to tell you guys something. If you're a factory GM, if you're a factory manager, listen to this. Donald Trump may get elected. Big possibility. He may get elected president of the United States. You may have a Republican-controlled House and Senate for the next 4 years, 2 years, 3 years, 20 years. I don't care. That will not change a darn thing next year in this industry. And by the way, our industry, the RV world, is not the only one. The housing market's going to stay slow. The boat market's going to stay slow. The power sports industry is going to stay slow. But watch this. The boat, auto, and power sports industry are way ahead of what the RV guys are doing. You want to know what they're doing? Rebates to the customer. Not $500. We're going to give you $500. That's all I can offer you. I can offer you $750. No. I just talked to a guy that owns a boat dealership, and there's boats that have $15,000 rebates, 30% rebates to the customer as down payment assistance. The roosters came home to lay. They came a long time ago. Wake the hell up. Wake up. Stop trying to pretend it's not happening. Stop pretending that Donald Trump is going to save the world. He's not. He ain't going to walk into office and go, we're going to go rates down to $3.99 again. It ain't going to happen. It doesn't work like that. No matter how much propaganda he talks, or Kamala Harris talks her propaganda, or Joe Biden talked his propaganda, that is not actual reality. Wake up. Because the community woke up. They're out shopping. There are more buyers, more people that have the ability, the extra money, and the willingness to buy right now. But because your stubborn asses won't wake up and smell the roses, they're out shopping used. And they got the money, they got the credit, they have the ability, and they're in the market. They gave themselves permission. The amount of people out shopping for an RV this July and probably carrying into August, I have not seen it since COVID. I haven't seen it since the COVID lockdowns. They are out in masses. But they're being smart. And dealerships are going with the trends. And that's why I said that whole bullshit article. It's like, hold on, guys. Fox Business, do your homework. Don't write some puff piece. Go do your actual homework. Don't come up with some crap because somebody probably paid you to. I didn't say that was for a fact, but it's a possibility, especially the way that article reads. I know there are. I'll give you an example. On my main channel, everybody knows you can contact me by email or through social media. In the last 3 weeks, I have gotten over 600 emails asking buying questions. I haven't seen that at all. Most of the time I see it with problems. Mainly grand design, frame failure, frame flex problems. Or, like, for example, Wolfpack travel trailers, Wolfpack fifth wheel toy haulers have canceled a bunch of customer retail orders. I'm going to talk more about that on Wednesday. I got to get some more information before I talk about it. But I've had so many people that have reached out to me and said they ordered a Wolfpack 365 16 or Pack 16, that 16-foot garage bath and a half, and they've been told by their dealer, sorry, here's your money back. They didn't build it. It ain't one dealer. It's multiple dealers that have done this. Ready, willing, and able. And you're screwing it up. You know, and that's where I think that artificial intelligence is going to screw things up for content creators that are connected to these corporations. Because remember, I keep saying tripping over dollars to save pennies, right? Now, this is also, if you listen to my story about Mr. Beast and what's been going on with Mr. Beast and his friend Chris, if you haven't, go see that video. It'll explain it. I also did on the live stream on Saturday on the main channel. There's going to be a protective shell that these corporations are going to want to be under, because they have to have that equity and inclusion policies to get some of these loans through these companies. And the only way to bypass all the problems that could occur with content creators is to go artificial intelligence. Now, I use AI myself. I use AI for my thumbnails. I use AI for my descriptions. I use AI for basically doing my brainstorm before my podcast, so I can try to keep it in line, because I know sometimes I go like way off track, and I make mental notes and things of that nature. So I use artificial intelligence, and I also use an AI program for another channel that I do on history, where I write the script and use this free program that creates the video with a voiceover. Okay, so I have that. I know that the possibilities are out there. Like, I've done commercials for dealerships where I have filmed a couple of units for them, or maybe filmed for a campsite, and then I use a voiceover AI where I talk, but it's something, another voice, a generic voice, so that way, I'm not attached, because I know that I'm not exactly the friendliest guy on earth. I'm not, I'm not Mr. Rogers. Okay, I'm basically a honey badger. For me, it's like I'm direct, punch you in your mouth, and oops, you got knocked down. Here, I'll pick you back up. Oop, got to knock you in the mouth again, pick you back up, because I'd rather do that than completely BS somebody and throw a bunch of horse manure. There are now 3 customers that were previous customers of mine that I've either sold units for or did service for their unit that they stole money from me. I had one customer that stole $3,000 from me. I had another customer that stole $1,500 out of my wallet when I had my back turned. And then I just had another customer that was a service customer that decides he wants to trash me online that stole over $600 from me. Yet I don't let that stuff stop me, because they are less than 1% of the actual RV community. I'm not going to let 3 bad eggs ruin my experience. Right now, the manufacturers need to understand that content creators, brand ambassadors, I know those closed door meetings are happening. And as I said, this isn't something they're going to snap their fingers and make happen tomorrow. But all it takes is one large content creator to be accused of something that involves children and inappropriate behavior to start a chain reaction of how corporations look at content creation. All it takes is one. And when it's the largest content creator on YouTube, but it involves his friend, not him directly, it makes it worse. I know that if you guys read the comment that Matt's RV Reviews left, and Matt, just so you understand, on the last episode, it was more or less like, there are people that love you, brother, but there's got to be people that can't stand you, okay? It's the same thing with me. Like, there's people that absolutely love and adore this podcast, love and adore my main channel, my shorts channel. There's people that love my content, are big followers and big fans and constants in my life, right? And then there's people that can't stand my ass, okay? It's a way of the world, right? I'm pretty sure Josh the RV Nerd has the same experience. I'm pretty sure Miles RV has the same experience. I'm pretty sure us content creators all have the same experience. That's why different personalities match up with more people better, right? So not everybody likes the direct punch you in your mouth experience. Some people want, oh my God, everything's perfect. Everything's so perfect. And there's people that love Armageddon. And there's people like the middle. And there's people that are like, well, I like the fact that this person points out 4 or 5 bad things they don't like and 4 or 5 things they do like about it. So everybody has their own kind of personality to it. And if you go artificial intelligence, if you go AI, corporate-wise, you're taking away that human element. It's scary to not. Most people think it's about money. It's not necessarily about the upfront cost, because to do AI is going to be the same amount of money as you're doing with brand ambassadors or content creators. Same money, same problem. So the money isn't the issue. It's the fear of being canceled. It's the fear of cancel culture. I give a lot of crap to like Liz Amazing and a lot of the corporate RV dealership YouTubers. I give a lot of crap to people who are, towers of the company line, okay? But I don't wish anybody to get canceled, okay? And the reason why is because, guys that like that sunshine and rainbow stuff, they're not going to like a guy like me, okay? They're not going to obviously like someone like Liz Amazing, okay? They're going to flock towards like Matt's RV reviews, Matt's towable reviews. They're going to flock that way. They might flock more towards JD at Big Truck Big RV. They might flock more that way. Why? Because their personality and their way of doing things matches better to how they want their RV experience to be. The minute you put artificial intelligence and just inject it in, and you no longer have that human element, you're taking away the ability for people to connect and understand what they're looking at and what may actually help them down the road. Great example. Let's use Josh the RV nerd as an example, okay? Josh is a very bubbly personality, very like he's an uncle, right? Kind of like Shannon Sharp, if you guys know who Shannon Sharp is. Shannon Sharp is your uncle, right? That's kind of how Josh is. Josh is everybody's uncle. That's kind of the way he's branded himself. And that's the way he connects with people, okay? Now, not everybody can stand that. Believe me, I've gotten so many things saying they can't stand him. But there's a huge amount of people, let's say 250,000 people, 500,000 people that are very loyal to him and they connect with him at a deeper level than they do, maybe a Matt or maybe a me or maybe, RV Miles or a Miles RV or I can't remember the one lady's name off the top of my head. But so there's a circular thing. There are people who connect with Liz Amazing better than they connect with anybody else because they love that nastiness. They love that everything's horrible, everything's bad. They gotta watch Fox News, CNN, MSNBC and go, the world sucks. There's all kinds of folks out there that match up and connect with people on a human level. And the minute we take away that and inject artificial intelligence into it, the corporations are going to lose that battle. Okay? They're going, yes, there are downsides to the human element of it, okay? Especially when we talk about the news or talk about things of that nature. But RVing, in general, RVing is a lifestyle to connect with other human beings. There are so many folks that have told me stories about camping experiences. They live in Utah, but they met friends from New York because they happen to be at the Grand Canyon together. And they talk through whatever, the phone, social media. They make plans for another trip. There's so many stories like that. There's so many stories about a mom and a dad, not sure if we really want to do this. We might not like it. Him and ha for 4 or 5 years. And then finally they go rent one. Or maybe they go on a trip with another person. And they just all of a sudden see the opening up of their children and the opening up of their family and that connection that everybody gets. See, here's what an RV is. An RV, yes. And I'm going to say this on Wednesday too, because I planned on it on Wednesday, but I'm going to say it today too. One of my favorite lines from the first Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. Johnny Depp is sitting on an island with Elizabeth Swann. Wow, I had a draw blank there. And they're drinking rum. And they're talking about a ship. They're talking about the Black Pearl. And he says, that's not what a ship is. She says it's just a hunk of wood or something. He says, no, that's what a ship has. A ship has sails. A ship has a steer or a rudder, a steering wheel, a plank, blah, blah, blah. But what a ship is freedom. And that's what an RV is. Yes, if it's a travel trailer, yeah, it has an air conditioner. Yeah, it has a furnace. Yeah, it has this. Yeah, it has that. But what it really is absolute freedom. It's your own house on wheels to go and spend your life how you want to, without hotels, without having to wonder if somebody upstairs is going to be doing pound, pound, pound all night. Whether you're going to have to smell intoxicating fumes inside a room, or have to take a black light to see if they actually change the sheets. The RV lifestyle gives you access to building memories and making human connections, and that is what's so important. So for a lot of people, content creation, I give you both sides. I give you the good, the bad, the shitty, the amazing, the great. I give you every aspect that I can give you. Okay? And I challenge RV manufacturers to get better. I know they can't get perfect. Nobody's ever going to be perfect. But I always challenge them to get better. JD at Big Truck Big RV has challenged the manufacturers to get better. Right? I know Matt has, once in a blue moon, came out and challenged people when he was an independent. I know Josh has, when he was an independent and not attached to a corporation, was very vocal about making things better. So we all speak the same language, understand the same language, and yet people still buy. And that's because that human connection. And the minute we make it robotic, the minute we let some program dictate what we can and cannot do, is the minute we lose that human connection, which means it doesn't mean anything anymore. So that's my pitch to the factories of, don't let what happened to Mr. Beast affect your situation. I know they're already talking about it behind a lot of corporations. I know that from what I understand from my sources that I talked to about banking and stuff like that, that conversation's happening at the corporate level of several big corporations across the United States and Canada. Not just in the RV world, but it's in every world. And it could affect hundreds of thousands of content creators that are attached to corporations because of this. So what I want you to do, if you've made it all the way to the end here, and if you didn't make it all the way to the end, that's okay, you get a shot, because it's the first thing we're going to talk about on Wednesday. I want you to tag your favorite RV creator in the description box. That's what I want you to do. If it's Josh the RV Nerd, if it's some brand ambassador, I don't care if it's Grand Design, I don't care if it's Winnebago, I don't care if it's POS, I don't care who it is. I want you to tag your favorite content creator in the RV space, and I want you to show in that so RV manufacturers and corporations can see it too, because I know they watch, I know they listen, so they can see what I'm talking about. Because they might be thinking I'm just blowing smoke up their ass. But that is a reality that we all should look at. So until Wednesday, you guys have a great week. And we'll see you on Wednesday talking about more AI.